But I think enough is enough. This woman she's a bully.
This woman is really, really not oppressed. She's opportunistic.
But she bullied people in a very unpleasant way over here.
This wasn't supposed to happen, not here. Not on a polished global stage, not inside the carefully controlled world of MasterChef Australia, where every smile is curated and every moment is meant to feel warm.
The narcissism and the lack of perspective from this woman is astounding. Let's not forget that Meghan Markle has a well-established track record of bullying. She thought nothing of bullying Princess Charlotte, a 3-year-old little girl. She thought that character building. But when it comes and it's flipped on her, it's like, how dare you call me out for bullying somebody? Because in her mind, like all bullies, it's acceptable to harm others and never get called out for it.
Because the moment Meghan Markle walked into that kitchen, something fractured beneath the surface, and within minutes. What should have been a harmless television appearance began unraveling into a story of tension, contradiction, and a question that refuses to go away. How did a segment designed to elevate Meghan Markle's image allegedly leave Poh Ling Yeow in tears? The entrance itself was loaded with expectation. Because Meghan Markle didn't just arrive as a guest, she arrived carrying an entire brand.
Meghan Markle in New York, when she went to do an interview with somebody at a friend's house, she had her staff announced into the living room that Duchess of Sussex is coming. When she went to that restaurant in Beverly Hills or whatever the hell it was, she came in that little golf course and the reporter said that her assistant announced to the world that Duchess of Sussex is coming. So are you telling me that Meghan Markle, who loves to remind people that she's ranked above everybody else in her mind, would have an issue with Judge Poh saying we have royalty in the house because that's how Meghan sees herself?
A carefully constructed post-royal identity built on elegance, warmth, and controlled authenticity, and the MasterChef Australia kitchen was supposed to validate that identity in front of a global audience. Yet almost immediately, the narrative began slipping out of her control, and whispers started forming about what really happened behind those cameras. What makes this moment explosive isn't just the allegation, it's the speed of the response. Because almost as quickly as reports surfaced suggesting tension and emotional fallout, Meghan Markle's camp pushed an entirely different version, insisting everything was perfect, everything was smooth, everything was positive, and that sharp contrast didn't calm the situation, it intensified it. Because when two completely opposite realities emerge at the same time, people don't choose the calmer one, they start digging for what's being hidden. The segment itself had been designed as a strategic move, a calculated step to reinforce Meghan Markle's lifestyle persona, where food, hosting, and curated domestic perfection would blend seamlessly with her public identity. But instead of conversations about taste, presentation, or culinary insight, the focus shifted almost instantly to something far more volatile, an alleged emotional breakdown, a tense exchange, and Poh Ling Yeow, one of the most beloved figures in MasterChef Australia, suddenly becoming the center of a completely different kind of story. And this is where the first contradiction explodes into view. Because according to the claims discussed, Poh Ling Yeow attempted something simple, something warm, something entirely expected. In that setting, she introduced Meghan Markle with a playful, royal tone, leaning into the Duchess of Sussex identity that has followed Meghan Markle across headlines, interviews, and promotional material for years, and it should have landed as a moment of charm. Yet reports claim it didn't land at all. It created discomfort, and suddenly, a word that has defined Meghan Markle's public relevance royalty became the trigger for tension. That contradiction doesn't just sit quietly, it expands. Because Meghan Markle's entire presence on that stage depended on the very identity that allegedly caused the problem. The challenge itself framed around food fit for a duchess, the branding rooted in royal association, the audience invited to engage with her through that lens. And yet, if the reports are accurate, the same identity became something to resist in real time. And that creates a fracture between image and reaction that cannot be easily explained away. What happened next, according to the source, raises the stakes even further. Because Poh Ling Yeow didn't escalate the situation, she reportedly reacted with embarrassment, with the instinct to apologize, to repair whatever had gone wrong. But instead of being allowed to approach Meghan Markle directly, she was allegedly discouraged. And suddenly, a simple misunderstanding transforms into something more controlled, more managed, more restricted, where access itself becomes part of the tension. And the question shifts from what was said to who was allowed to fix it. And then comes the detail that changes everything, the allegation that parts of this aftermath may have been removed from the final episode. Because editing is normal in television, but removing a moment where a central figure becomes emotional is not just editing, it becomes narrative control. It becomes selective storytelling. And it raises a dangerous possibility. What if the version the audience sees is not just polished, but deliberately incomplete? For MasterChef Australia, the stakes were already high because the show needed this segment to feel seamless, to integrate a global celebrity without disrupting its credibility. But for Meghan Markle, the stakes were even higher because this wasn't just a guest appearance, it was a test. A chance to borrow authority from a respected culinary institution, to stand beside real contestants and judges, and appear not just famous, but legitimate in that environment. But legitimacy doesn't come from presence alone. And this is where the dynamic inside the kitchen reportedly began shifting in ways that could not be scripted. Because when the pressure of the competition intensified, when time limits closed in and decisions became critical, the contestants didn't turn to Meghan Markle, they turned to the MasterChef judges, the professionals with proven expertise. And in that moment, the hierarchy became visible. The difference between branding and experience, no longer abstract, but immediate and undeniable. That shift may seem subtle, but it carries consequences, because Meghan Markle's role depended on being perceived as more than symbolic, more than decorative. Yet the guidance she reportedly offered, phrases like cook from the heart while emotionally appealing, lacked the technical value contestants needed, and that gap didn't just stay inside the kitchen, it translated to the audience, where viewers began questioning whether inspiration without expertise can sustain authority in a competitive environment. And once that doubt enters the narrative, it doesn't stay contained, it connects outward, linking this moment to broader criticisms of Meghan Markle's lifestyle branding, where previous projects have already faced scrutiny for originality, for depth, for authenticity, with comparisons to established figures like Martha Stewart and Pamela Anderson, creating an even sharper edge, because those comparisons don't just question quality, they question identity itself. Now the story is no longer about one introduction or one reaction, it becomes a convergence point, where multiple lines of criticism, past and present, begin intersecting in a single setting. And at the center of it all stands Meghan Markle, positioned between a carefully managed public image and a growing list of allegations that suggest a very different experience behind the scenes. Because this isn't the first time these patterns have appeared. And that's what makes the MasterChef Australia moment so volatile. Because the source connects it to a longer history, claims from palace staff before Meghan Markle and Prince Harry left Britain, reports of workplace tension, allegations that have followed her across continents and industries, each one denied, each one contested, but together forming a pattern that becomes harder for the public to ignore. And when patterns form, perception shifts, because people stop evaluating incidents individually and start connecting them. And that connection is what transforms a single allegation involving Poh Ling Yeow into something much larger. Something that threatens not just a television appearance, but the entire structure of Meghan Markle's public identity. Because now every new claim doesn't stand alone, it reinforces everything that came before. Which leads to the most unsettling realization of all. Because at the exact moment Meghan Markle needed complete control over her image, she stepped into an environment where control was shared, contested, and ultimately limited. And the result wasn't just tension, it was exposure. Exposure to dynamics she couldn't fully shape, reactions she couldn't fully predict, and a narrative that began slipping beyond her reach. And the deeper question hasn't even surfaced yet. Because once that pattern enters the conversation, every new incident stops being judged on its own and starts being measured against everything that came before. That is exactly why the alleged incident involving Poh Ling Yeow exploded far beyond a simple television misunderstanding. The setting had changed from Buckingham Palace to a MasterChef Australia kitchen, but according to the source, the allegations sounded strangely familiar. Different location, different people, different industry. Yet the same uncomfortable question resurfaced once again: does the atmosphere around Meghan Markle repeatedly become difficult for the people working closest to her? The source then connected that question to another moment already circulating online. It highlighted footage from a major fashion show where Meghan Markle was filmed reacting after a model stumbled on the runway. Some viewers believed they saw amusement before Meghan Markle quickly changed expression after becoming aware of the cameras. Whether viewers interpreted the clip fairly or not, the source argued that perception became the real issue. When someone builds a public identity around compassion, kindness, and empathy, every unexpected facial expression is examined for contradiction. 1 second of unguarded reaction can suddenly outweigh hours of carefully prepared messaging. That is where the MasterChef Australia appearance allegedly became even more dangerous. Meghan Markle could exercise enormous influence over the presentation of her own lifestyle productions, where lighting, editing, pacing, and storytelling naturally reflected her vision. But this was different. Poh Ling Yeow already had years of credibility inside that kitchen. The contestants had one priority: surviving the competition. The judges carried genuine authority earned through experience. Meghan Markle could arrive as the internationally recognized guest, but according to the source, she could not automatically become the central authority in every interaction. And that shift in power exposed a vulnerability that branding alone could not overcome. According to the source, the response did not stop inside the studio. Friendly reports quickly appeared insisting Meghan Markle had enjoyed filming and experienced no problems whatsoever. But the source argued that this familiar pattern redirected attention toward Meghan Markle's own experience rather than addressing the central allegations surrounding Poh Ling Yeow. Whether Meghan Markle enjoyed the appearance did not answer the question dominating public discussion. If someone else had allegedly left the production deeply upset, the audience wanted to know why. Positive headlines could reshape the atmosphere, but they could not erase the question that had already begun spreading across social media and entertainment coverage. The source also pointed to a series of carefully presented family photographs and beach images that appeared after the controversy gained attention. One image discussed in the source was linked to Althorpe, the Spencer family estate where Princess Diana is buried, prompting another wave of criticism from viewers who believed the symbolism arrived at an unusually sensitive moment. The source did not claim the timing proved intent, but argued that when a public figure communicates so heavily through carefully selected imagery, audiences inevitably begin interpreting every photograph, every family moment, and every symbolic location as part of a broader reputation strategy rather than simple coincidence. That is why, according to the source, the MasterChef Australia appearance may ultimately be remembered for something entirely different from its original purpose. Instead of strengthening Meghan Markle's food and lifestyle image, it allegedly reignited long-running questions about workplace relationships, public image management, and repeated allegations of tension surrounding professional collaborations. The source concludes that television editing may remove awkward moments from an episode, but once viewers know what they are looking for, every pause, every cut, every expression, and every interaction becomes evidence in the court of public opinion. Until the allegation involving Poh Ling Yeow receives a convincing explanation, the story, according to the source, is unlikely to disappear, and the biggest mystery may not be what audiences eventually see on screen, but what they never get to see at all.